What's up, guys? Kai is back here, and as I said, I would do a follow-up video to the 50 metamorph kills. We're gonna show the build that we're running, and today we're here to showcase Spectral Shield Throw. Now, I've never played it before other than this league, and I originally saw a couple guides for it, and it caught my interest. Seemed like something I'd like to play, and it kind of got me back into the league, to be honest. It's super fun, feels good, damage is great, survivability is good. And the variations I was seeing, the biggest complaint I saw, which almost deterred me from playing it, was they were super expensive. Like, I was seeing like 40 divines for the helmet, like 30 divines for weapons, and people didn't know how to budget it. So I came out with a way to start it, and my budget was, it's still pretty expensive, but it was around, I think, 25 divines to start the whole thing. That's what I had saved up. I went in with that, made sure I spent it all to start the character. I believe there's actually ways to do it for a lot cheaper. And the biggest issue was solving the corrupted heat shiver with a 90% reduction to reservation cost, where it makes it only cost 90% instead of 100% of the cost. That was the hardest thing to solve, but there were ways to do it, and I figured it out. As well as not having the ashes. But we'll go ahead and show all the gear, show all the budgets, budget options. We'll go ahead and show the items we're using, the passives, and then we'll do a showcase at the end. Now, this build has accomplished killing Uber Cirrus so far. That's really the only Uber I've chased down. I've done Uber Elder as well, but I don't really count them. Done Shaper multiple times. The Guardian is no problem. And then it runs like very juice maps. It doesn't seem to have little problems. It does have some deaths, but that's just me being impatient. Probably running stuff I shouldn't run, but overall, I think it works out pretty well. So first, we're going to go ahead and show the gear. And I'll kind of show you where I'm at and what I spent on it and what I used before, if I used anything before. So the first thing's the sword. And the reason it's big, it's Crusader influenced, and it comes with the 30% physical damage converted to cold. You actually need this because you can't run the gloves. At least in the variation I'm doing, you don't run the gloves. So we're running this foil. I think I paid right around 30 chaos. I see them between 30 chaos to divine often that have the conversion. That's really all you need on it. Had that, it had a little bit of elemental damage, and then I put on the cold, and then has multi the implicit. The dex doesn't matter. Now, I got a little lucky when I did this, and we got the 50 multi, which is good, because the crit chance doesn't hurt us because it doesn't affect the shield crit chance, so it's just a free 50 multi overall. And that's the sword running. Not too expensive, pretty easy to get. We then have the shield, which is the big part of the build. Now, what makes the shield good is your crit damage and crit scale off of the energy shield, your flat damage scales off the armor. Now, this shield gives you 1000% increased armor and energy shield. Anyone who's played Spectral Shield Throw or kind of has been following it knows that if you get something like this, it gets multiplied by that, and it just gives you stupid energy shield. You can get up to like 1,000 something energy shield on these, and I've seen up to like 3,000 something armor. So the original one I bought had like 570 something on it. I paid about 2 divines for it. You can find it for about 1 to 2 divines, which is a pretty good starter. That's what I use. I then found a shield that dropped, the Emperor's Vigilance, and I went to the tree, and I got pretty lucky, and I hit at least 2 energy shield mods, and then like charge duration, which was kind of cool. So we got a better shield, and that's your biggest damage increase. Every time you bring up the energy shield, your damage will skyrocket, and I'll show that later in the POV. So this is pretty much what the build is based off of. This shield, it's just broken this league. That's the best way to put it. So again, you can probably get a decent one starting for 1 to 2 divines. So nothing too crazy. If we look at the armor, so I spent, I think, 4 divines on this. It was already 6 linked. It had the HP. It has the regen, which is a must if you're going to run Berserk. The mana reservation efficiency, I think you can get away without it. I'll check later on the POV. It just happened to have it. I took it since I don't have it ashes. So we picked that up, and it has spell suppress. And then I was able to craft the ailment avoid, because we do ailment cap in this build. And then we, with influences, crafted the hatred and the curse aura for skills. Again, it was about 4 divines into that. And then we got the helmet. Now, heat shiver. For a long time, I just ran a normal heat shiver. I think I just got this one 2 days ago. I've been playing the build for about 2 weeks now. maybe a week and a half. Actually, probably a week and a half. This will cost you about 12 to 13 divines for that enchant. Make it a chase item. You don't need it off the bat. Just invest 20, 30 chaos into Heat Shield with decent resist on it, and you'll be good. That's what I would say. And then we come around to gloves. They're very cheap. They don't cost too much. This enables your regens, stuff like this, to turn into rage regeneration. And between this and a couple things in the tree, you're going to get some quick rage. So if you see up at... Well, I guess you can't see it because of my camera. I'll move it. Let me go ahead and move that for you guys. So we have rage up here. It's ticking down. It's going to start regenerating. You'll see a burst every now and then, though. See, it just did a bunch really quick. So that does it because we get regen every 4 seconds based off 1% of our ES and armor, or evasion armor. So you'll see bursts, and it builds it pretty quick, and you'll just have berserk uptime most of the time we need it. So these gloves are very cheap. You can buy it for, I think, maybe 5 chaos. If you want to get a plus 1 frenzy pair, it would probably cost you like 3 divines. And then we got the boots here. Those are probably the best 2 crafted mods at the top. And then you're just looking for your suppress, get some chaos, and 1 of your resist is what I did. High health, and then we crafted some movement speed. Nothing too crazy on the boots. I think I spent 2 divines on them, maybe. And again, we'll talk about budget options after, but we'll just show you what I have right now. 2 rings here. I think one of them costs me 4 divine and one of them costs me 2, because again, we're stacking the chaos resist on them as well. All our resist and extra chaos resist and life. Just pretty much defensive rings. They tend to be expensive, especially with chaos in the implicit and explicit with other resists. So I think I was maybe like, yeah, total of either 5 or 6 divines between both rings. And then this helped me out because you do need to get strength on one piece, which preferably if you get it on the sword, you can actually cut it from the neck altogether, especially when you get Nashes. Preferably if you get the strength on the sword, it'd be great, but you're going to get your strength, you're going to get in this case, since I did go for Ashes, you need Grace or Hatred with the increased mana reservation efficiency, and we're just going to hit that with the Prismatic Catalyst to bring it up. And I got fortunate on this one. I think I paid 40 Chaos. They go between like that to 2 Divines for an okay one. And we just craft out some life and we put Vengeance Cascade on it to get the returning projectiles. We then got the belt. I think I paid 30 chaos for this, corrupted like this. They're usually like a divine plus. I think I just caught someone selling it cheap, but we have the life resist roll just to be safe, and it takes care of everything. Great belt. You pretty much just get a bunch of extra attack damage for whatever's lower between your evasion and armor, and then it also just gives you perma onslaught because you're always fortified as a champion. And then our flasks, we have our corrupted blood. I have a jade with just attack speed on it. I have a sulfur, which I'm probably going to change to a taste of hate eventually, but I didn't mess with my flask too much. We have evasion on the granite. You could put armor if you want. And then we got our standard movement quicksilver. So that's pretty much the gear. As for budget options, you could probably get these a lot cheaper if you cut some of the chaos resist, or even all of it. You cut all the chaos resist except the implicit, maybe. You're probably looking like a divine between both rings. That's what I would do. So, realistically, if you can do that for a divine, get a slightly worse pair of boots for a divine, one of these for a divine, 40 chaos, 2 divines here. You're maybe looking, you could get this build going, but feeling pretty good for about 7-8 divines, which shouldn't be too hard to get. There's plenty of ways to do it between the sextant farming and all that going on. So, that's what I'd say you could do to start it. And then, we'll kind of go into, gear I'm going to pursue. So if I get a better sword with maybe hatred effect on it, I will. Rings are pretty good where they're at. Gloves +1 frenzy on the implicit. Boots are pretty solid. Going for an ashes. And then obviously just a better shield. We'd like a better shield. And then a better Watcher's Eye. We're currently using... I guess I should show those too. But I'll show those in the tree. We're using a cold conversion Watcher's Eye. Between that, the skill tree, and this, you get your 100% cold conversion. That's pretty much how you get the cold conversion. No, that's the most important thing. If you feel like your damage isn't there, it's because you don't have full cold conversion. So you need the Watcher's Eye, you need the sword, and you need the... I'll ignore this guy right now. and you need the skill tree mastery from Cold. For the Watcher's Eye itself, I think I spent maybe 2 divines. That was like a while ago. And then for my miscellaneous jewels, I spent between 1 to 2 divine. With the jewels, you don't need anything crazy. I just went for crazy 4 standards on most of them. And then the unique jewel you need for the Spectral shield throw is cheap. You don't have to worry about that being expensive. And then there's the cluster jewel, the shield attack damage one. I think I paid like 10 chaos for it. So nothing too crazy on that. And then we're going to go ahead and show the gem setup here. So we're running Phantasmal Spectral shield throw, and that's what's important, as Phantasmal. This gives you 20 multi, and if you scale the quality layer with an ashes, you'll get a bunch more for every 100 maximum energy shield. So right now, it's giving me 120 multi over that, almost 140, which is more than a crit multi gem, I'm pretty sure. So it's like a free 7th link for just running that gem, or that jewel in your tree. So we got that. Trinity support, you keep it up pretty easy, because you are getting the fire from this, and it does bring up the full Trinity effect. You always have it up. Awaken Vicious Projectiles, you can get it for about 50 chaos at level 1. I got lucky and corrupted mine and hit 6. You can get away with just Vicious Projectiles, no problem. Same with Elemental with attacks. I just upgraded this later, and this cost, I think, 3.4 divines. And then it was already corrupted. I just wanted to be able to run un-ID'd maps without worrying about Reflect. So, again, you can just run a regular Ellie with attacks. Don't have to worry about it too much. Divergent Inspiration will cost a little bit. I think it's about a divine. And actually, this too. I guess we should put this in the cost. So more of the cost is about 10 divines to start it, realistically, if you want good damage. 10 to 11, because this costs about 2 to 3. Because everybody's using it. And then Divergent just gives you some more extra mana reduction, which makes a huge difference. And I think it costs about a little less than Divine when I bought it. And then we got Crit Strikes to bring our crit up to 100%. And the weapon here, we're running Life Tap, Mark on a hit, Sniper's Mark, just keep Sniper's Mark up, don't have to worry about casting it. For our auras, we got an Enlighten 3, a Hatred, a Grace, and a Determination. We're able to run all 3. In the boots, we're running our Shield Charge with faster attacks for quick mobility. We also have Molten Shell bound to left click, which costs no mana. We just do it when we're moving, which is kind of nice. And we have a Precision as well, max level, able to support that as well for accuracy crit. In our gloves, we're still figuring out some other links, but we have Ancestral Protector just for some more attack speed during bosses. And the second was just in there, I don't know why. And here we have Berserk to proc our off our gloves. And then we have Defiance Banner, which we get for free because of Champion. And I think that is all the links. Probably gonna run a Blood and Sand. There's a alt quality one that gives you projectile damage if we could squeeze the aura. That's probably once we get Ashes. But that's pretty much our gem links. And then I'll go ahead and show the tree. So our tree starts at Duelist for Ascendancy. Go to the left first, get an Unstoppable Hero. It's going to feel a little bit dead early, but you need it. And then you get Fortify. Your build starts to feel great, super tanky. And then I'd go for Inspirational, get the free banner, as well as the life per second regeneration. And then we got First to Strike, Last to Fall. We then just go straight down Duelist. You pick up this life node, this for the strength, and the regen. Again, regen is our rage gain. You get Fury Bolts here, a little bit more strength and projectile damage. This was one of the last things I picked up, but once you get the Onslaught for the belt towards 79, that's when you want to pick it up towards your late 70s, early 80s. This will give you a big chunk of regen to fuel your Berserk even more. And then you're getting Onslaught effect when you have Perma Onslaught. You get the Cold Mastery Wheel here, and you take the 40% conversion there, so there's one of your conversion sources. And then we got our Cluster Jewel with Martial Prowess on it for a little bit of attack speed, attack damage, accuracy. And then we also have Veteran Defender, which gives you attributes and resists, which help with the build a lot, as well as some increased defenses. Just as I said, I threw in some expensive jewels just to have them in there. Don't really need the fire resistor, I just have it. And then we got our Ancestral Vision. This is like a 70 chaos jewel. This makes it so your suppressed chance, which we are capped, half of that applies to our ailments, so that'd be 50%. This helps cap our ailments. You then pick up this life wheel here, which also helps cap the ailments. And then we go up to the projectile crit tree over here, and we pick up more projectile speed. And then the only thing on this tree I'm not sure of yet, I think I'm seeing a big difference every time I run it, is point blank. Point blank seems to bring up the damage tremendously, so I'm just going to keep it on for now. I think it's been working well. And we pick up the life wheel here with, took up the plus 50 life mastery. And we put our jewel here. This is the one you're going to need, Seething Fury. Will give you a ton of damage based on every 10 maximum energy shield energy shield in your shield. Helps cap your crit and gives you insane crit multi. We then pick up a suppress wheel here, and I guess we pick up this one here, just the first two, to help cap our suppress. If we come over this way, we pick up one straight though, which I think we can eventually get rid of. I just have to do some more tweaking. And then you pick up the weapon elemental damage wheel here, with having a chance to invert elemental resistances. We then pick up life and evasion here. And here you just get 100% increased evasion from equipped body armor, which is very strong. Pick up a jewel socket here where I put my Watcher's Eye, which is the hatred conversion again. And then we pick up Charisma for some reservation, which we allocate the increased aura effect by 10%. And then go down here, pick up the ballistics, the life, finesse. You get a little bit of crit resist here, which is really nice. And then you get the rest of your suppress there. And then we go up here, we pick the mark with chance to gain a frenzy, so you have frenzy generation of bosses. You take this one accuracy with crit note, it helps cap your crit, it gives you the accuracy. A little bit of life there. And then this is how we also pick, well, I guess we'll go here first. We pick up this reservation, then the 8% increased damage for aura. Pick up the little life and strength there. Ghost stance is another layer of defense. And then I got another jewel here. Now, this is how you fix the issue too, with not having an ashes, not having the other thing. So you number one have to get either the hatred or the grace. Right here. And I got a 49 roll, and then I catalysted up to 58. You want it to be around there. The other way you fix it, for now, is you pick up Mind Drinker, and you take the 12% increased reservation efficiency of skills. It's kind of a waste because we're not using our mana for that purpose, but just for the fact to get this makes it all worth it. And that's pretty much where we're at with the tree. And I think the way I did the tree was I went this way, I picked up these, I went over here and got this right away, and then I started coming back for the life over here, and then I don't think I picked up point blank till real late. As soon as I could get the cluster on, I got it on because it has stats of resist. And then I just started picking up a bunch of life and suppress, and then this wheel right here, the elemental wheel, is really good, and all my reservations. Once I did that, I started working on the calling, the ghost dance, finishing off accuracy, stuff like that, masteries, whatever I needed to do, and eventually pick up the onslaught and stuff like that. Build does plenty of damage. I mean, I'll bring up the POB in a second, but overall, it's good. We bring up the POB. It's showing against boss about 11.7 mil, and again, it skyrockets if you put certain things in. Like if we get an ashes, we go right up to 15. If you buff your shield even higher, so for instance, I'm just going to save really quick before I do this. If you somehow could get your 1000 shield, there's a bunch of scaling potential there. Let me see how we want to do this. This might be too high, but we're just going to see. You see, just bringing it up like that, just bring it up like that little bit to like 7 something or like low 800s was 13 mil. So you're talking you probably hit like numbers over 20 very easy between both those swaps. So there's plenty of ways to scale the build still. And then our configuration isn't even unrealistic. Like if you look, I have no flasks on. I didn't even put them in the build. I put pretty much what I'm wearing on right now. Pretty much exactly what I have. I'll post the POB later. And then, of course, certain things don't even get factored in, like Vengeance Cascade doesn't get factored in the POB damage. The Shard Splinter extras don't get factored in to the POB. And then, oh, there's this too. I don't use this myself, but you could run Corrupting Fever if you want to proc your adrenaline more. It just didn't seem like I needed it, so I wasn't doing it. But if we look at my POB, we have Frenzy Charge, which we will against every Pinnacle boss, which we are fighting Pinnacles. Rage will pretty much be there. Fortification. I mean, fortification's always there. Inspiration charges are always gonna be capped. Nothing else checked here. What else do we got? Molten Shell. You got a residence count. No curses on us, pretty much. Enemies most likely chilled. I freeze a lot of bosses, so this is fine to be checked for the heat shiver. And then there's a lot of things we don't even have. Like if you guys were looking, don't have an enchant on my boots. Could get the LD Pen one, it would probably make a big difference. So there's just certain things we don't have. We can obviously raise our like Eater of World and Exarch influences. We can make them a lot stronger. So we can get a lot better Watcher's Eye. We could probably get one with like some Crit Multi from Precision on there as well, or some Hatred Cold Pen. There's a whole lot of options that we can add. What else? I think that's pretty much it. But this should have all the skills that I potentially was going to use, or I'm using pretty much in here, just all spread out. And then, yeah. Hit pool's pretty good. There's our hit pool. Estimate effective hit pool is 94,000. But again, that's without flasks. We're not even using flasks. This is just your standard. We have Fortify. We have Spell Suppress, 100%. 100% to avoid ailments. We also have Glancing Blows to take a little less damage. Okay. Grace, Determination, Defiance Banner. There's just so much DR in this build. You're going to feel tanky the whole time. And then just to make sure your conversion looks right, this is what it about should look like. Equal on both parts. And that's pretty much it. That is pretty much the build. Crit's 95 right now, but that goes up if you get more energy shield in your shield. So that'll eventually be crit cap. And that's pretty much the POB, which I will link after this. I will show the Atlas passives next, and then we'll go right into a map. I'll do a Conqueror map just to show you guys an idea. So I've switched just a lot. I started Ritual, Beasts, and Harbinger for a while. And then I eventually switched out Harbinger and Ritual for Blight. And I don't remember what else I did. Is Blight and something. And Blight was okay, but I switched out of it. And now we're at like what I like to call my final product. I finally removed these nodes because they didn't really seem to affect that much. Like I still see all my content enough. Like for instance, we're running Beast, so I'm always running Beast Scarabs. Okay, we're running Metamorph, Super Juiced Metamorph. This is where I'm getting a lot of my money from too. Beast and Metamorph pretty much pay for a lot of the stuff. We're running Juiced Metamorph. So we got all the Metamorph nodes but this one, pretty much. Don't need it. It's just extra experience. You don't need the Metamorph Scarabs. They're a Chaos each. You can get them pretty easily. So you're running the Metamorph, which you're ready to scare for, so it's always going to be there. You then Delirium. I'm pretty much spec'd into most of them. Right side up here. We just go here for the Delirium or Chance. You don't need the big node there. We get both sides here. Again, Delirium Chance. So we just go up to there. We're going to try and grip this node just to make it dissipate slower so we get better clear out of it. And then more Delirium Chance. So there's our Delirium. The only one that has like it's like a 34% chance to spawn. You'll see it every 3 maps. Just naturally doing it. And then I recently decided to put points into Torment Spirits, just because. Sometimes you get really nice stacks of explosions. And then we're spec'd right into Conquerors and Shaper Elder maps to drop more. And then over here, from the deep, this is what's going to give you Cryokit Chimeras. They go for about 1.2 Divines each. And you don't need the Hunt of Venomous. You'll see plenty of them. I still see a lot of them. They're worth about like 13 Awakened Sextants or so. But just so you get a quick glance at the tree, how I'm spec'd into it. See, like, stuff like that I might take out. We don't even use the Master Missions, but you see I'm just looking. But Metamorph is good. Just Metamorph can be dangerous, so do this at your own risk. Because as you can see here, 30% chance of double rewards, but they get 150% more life multiplier and 15% more damage. You kind of offset that with this. As long as you're filling your VAT meters, you probably won't notice it too much. And this is pretty much where I'm at. Last few points, as I said, we'll probably just go to fill in the rest of this Delirium tree out. And we'll go from there. That's the Atlas. I guess we're going to a showcase, so I'll show you kind of how I run a map. Usually I'll roll 10 together, but we'll just roll 1 to show it. So we'll just grab a Conqueror here. Let's grab... Sure. Chance to avoid. We'll run something like this. So this character can run pretty much every map mod. You can start running Reflect once you get this. Just don't kill yourself with shield charge. It almost happened to me today. It only affects your linked skills. I don't know if I can run no leech. Maybe. It's probably risky or very pot dependent. But no regen is one I think we can run as long as you're careful. You might need to bring a mana pot just in case. But an enduring or something. But it should be completely fine. For the most part, I've run minus max, I've run elemental weakness. It doesn't matter. Curses don't really hurt me too much. The damage is pretty insane. But normally that chisels 20, but it's already yellow. And then what I would do is I come over to my tab here. I buy a ton of scarabs. Usually pay between 2.5 to 4 a piece for the bestiary. Okay? And then we run about 1 chaos for the metamorph. And then I usually just do 2 fragments. Unless I'm doing a div card map, then maybe I'll throw in div card thing. We'll show a quick showcase here. Okay, we've got Delirium here. I'll pick up everything at the end then.
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah, usually when I get Delirium, I just pick up everything at the end. It's not worth it. Wait. Why is my Delirium going this way? Oh, my Delirium went the wrong way. Well, that sucks. You guys get the idea. We'll pick all that up at the end. My Delirium went the wrong way. I didn't even notice. But very tanky.
Exalted orbs.
And I feel I'm getting everything in this man. Then we have to see the random ghosts. Just kind of moving, just throwing occasionally, make pretty good money if you juice. Let's pick up everything at the end. Except that. Just we're in here. Pantheons, I'm running Solaris, I believe, and the Burning Ground, because that was the only thing that was bothering me, was Burning Ground. And we got the Rogue Metamorph here, it's ghosted. It's one of the perks of Metamorph. Sometimes they drop limbs too. Don't really have a weapon. I'll show Crucible really quick too. I don't even have Wisdom Scrolls in me and Portals. Here we go. Let's pick these. Oh God. Oh. There we go. Just kind of show a Crucible in action, just to show it. Currently level 98 as well, guys. I'm not quite at 100 yet. Okay, Berserk, pretty much whenever it's up. It's up a lot. You either have Rage or you have Berserk, or both. Alright. Let's go pick up the stuff, and then we'll go ahead and do the Metamorph. That's usually what I do. Like, I usually won't leave the stuff on the ground unless I'm really trying to push the Delirium, but it kind of went the wrong way on me. We got 2 Diviners, I'm pretty sure, yep. That's why I love specking to some Exarch on the left side of the tree too. I'm only spected to the one, by the way. I don't know if I showed that. We're only spected this part of Exarch. I don't do the top. Didn't seem to be worth it, in my opinion. I pretty much just pick up Scarabs. Delirium Orbs I'll sell. And that wasn't with like crazy amount of juice on it. It's just all these altars, dude. My music got so quiet. Give me 1 second, guys. That sounded fresh over the video, but that's better. But yeah, we just go pick up all this stuff. You make pretty damn good money just running this over and over. It's very quick. Usually we'd pick it up on the way again, but just want to kind of show the build. Show a nice little map. And we still have a Conqueror, I believe. I didn't even do the Conqueror. We'll do him in a second. Alright, go do the Conqueror. We'll do the Metamorphs first. So for Metamorphs, if you spec into it, you get 2 uses. I always recommend using both uses. Even if you don't have a boss, you can get a lot of catalysts this way. That's how you make a lot of money. So for instance, we'll just go down the line, take some things I like. As long as it's not crit resistant. Crit resistance will feel like shit. Cold resistance, not so much. His Ghost as well. We do carry over the Ghost. We got a Prismatic there. 3 eyes. And the altar will come back 1 time. And normally I'll just look for stuff that would give me currency or catalyst or whatever.
I can't do this just yet.
Okay. And then we're going to go right in. Our Berserk's building up, as you can see at the top left. Oh, there's our Conqueror. Wait, why are these glowing like that? I actually don't know. But we are so full too. Like, look at that. I don't. Let's put some incubators on. Make some room that way. Oh, not the Delirium Orb. Alright, nothing too crazy. Oh, we want to pick that up too. I really don't want to go back to town. We'll just drop the Eternal. Oh, we gotta grab the crest too. Fuck. You know what? I have a billion of those. That's pretty much a Conqueror map, guys. Pretty easy for the most part. And again, our damage has a lot of potential. Once we get Ashes, you're looking at almost a 50% big increase in your overall output. And then, yeah, it should be pretty good. And then just saving up money. As I said, I'm saving up for a really good Ashes. That's our next play. But that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, you can comment. I'll try and get back to them. I also stream on Twitch at twitch.tv/Kaius, K-A-I-U-S-S-S. That's 3 S's. And I will actually be live shortly after this video go live. Thank you guys for hanging out. See you later. Till next time.